So for those listening, we have Kelly Bond here, and she has been part of Transform since January, right? So for like 10 months now.
Yep.
Yay. And Kelly's had just such incredible results. Like, even talking to you right now, every time I talk to you, your face is thinner. It's just, it throws me off. So
Yeah.
really incredible results all around, from, we'll get into it, but from a physical standpoint, so many mental shifts that I've seen, and I'm curious to kind of hear your take on that too, and just completely. So she's gone through a cut where you lost how much total weight?
35 pounds.
35. Damn, I didn't know it was that much. 35 pounds. And then through a reverse, and now we have you somewhere right around maintenance, right?
Yep. Yep. Hitting
Cruising.
maintenance and staying in the same weight and lifting heavy in the gym.
Awesome. So full circle, like what we like to do, really none of this could have gotten any better. But I want to take it back to like when we first started, and like I was just saying when I was talking to the other Kelly, I feel like so often, even with ourselves, we get to kind of like the summit, or we get so far into it and we forget about like the early beginning phases. So I like to go back to that. So let's talk about why you joined Transform, and kind of what had you been doing up until that point? What were you like thinking? Were you in a place where you're frustrated, or what made you pull the trigger?
Well, I actually contacted you probably like 4 years prior to joining Transform about individual coaching, but I
Mm-hmm.
had all these, I guess you would say, limiting beliefs or concerns about, money and or time and support and everything like that. But after like watching you grow your business and then you and Jordan creating Transform, it was such a different platform, and I felt like it was like time, and I was so committed because I was like so tired of myself. 35 pounds heavier is like literally the heaviest I'd ever been, the most unhappy I'd ever been in my life, not just concerning my weight, but just overall. And I was like, I need to do this for me. It's time. I want to feel better in my body. I want to have a better relationship with food. I was tired of eating like shit all the time and just wanted to be healthier because I knew I was not heading down the wrong track. I needed like a whole new wardrobe because none of my clothes fit, and I was just so frustrated with everything. So,
Love that. Yeah, we on those calls, those initial calls, I always am trying to ask, why do you want to do this? And I really want to know why.
yeah.
And I want there to be a deep purpose attached to it, because like you said, you'd contacted me before and the why wasn't really there. You obviously didn't want it bad enough because you went on with your life for 4 years. Do you remember what that was
Mhm.
for you when we spoke back in January or December? It would have been.
It was because I was really ready for a change. I was ready to make myself better. I was like that. I was just so ready to finally get on track with my life and myself. And I knew that I loved working out, but I needed help and I wanted to learn. I was ready to take all the information you guys were gonna teach me. I think like the teaching portion was the biggest part for me because I didn't want to just be given a plan, and I can do any plan, but I want to learn why I'm doing these things. So like the teaching and like that was my why.
Yeah.
I
Has that evolved any over time, like starting out like to be healthier, to learn, but now you've been doing this for going almost 11 months now, and something still has to get you out of the bed in the morning? Is there anything like new or different now that's evolved? I'm just kind of curious.
Oh yeah. I mean, my why is still the same. I have like such a better relationship with food. I'm more conscious of what I'm eating and what I'm putting in my body. But I still have like so much to learn. There's always new trainings and Transform and like the guest speakers that you guys bring on. I always take advantage of them.
You do.
Um,
You're always on those calls.
just like, hey.
Yeah, I love it.
And like listening to your podcast, just like consuming all that content, I feel like has really changed my mindset so much. And I just want more.
Yeah.
Um,
That's one reason I specifically wanted to chat with you, because you're such an inspiration for people who are at the beginning, because I have seen just a complete and total mindset shift with you, and just wanting more. And I want to dive into that a little bit. Like, when we talk about transformation, obviously the physical's there, complete huge physical transformation, but anything else outside of that, in terms of, anything really, confidence, mental shifts, changes in your life, whether that be like relationships or leveling up or outgrowing people, or
Mhm.
anything that you can attribute to all this change, because you're like a different person now.
Well, I was gonna say all of that because I am completely different. When I started, I had a boyfriend that I was unhappy with and wanted to break it off, but I wasn't sure how because I lacked self confidence. And I think within a month of this program, I was like, nope, see ya, peaced out that relationship, kicked him out of the house, and had my own place to myself, which I finally lived alone. I haven't lived alone like ever, so that was like a huge mental shift for me, working on myself and being alone. And not being alone is bad, but like being alone with myself and like getting to know myself more, everything like that. That was has been huge for me. Journaling more. I started a journal at the beginning of the year, and I've kept up with it almost every single day, and that's been huge in my mental shift. Starting a gratuity journal as well. Every morning, I write down 3 things that I'm thankful for. That really sets my tone for the day. Like all those little um, things that you guys talk about, like setting up your day and
Mhm.
habits. Those habits are now instilled in me for life. Like those are things that I will consistently do forever now. Like it's all for me, and it's like
I love
I
it.
guess getting a little bit more selfish with my boundaries and my time and my friends, and saying no, I really can't, I don't want to do anything this weekend because I'm not drinking, because I'm
Yeah.
focusing on me and losing weight. That was a huge struggle for this first 6 months, because all I did the year prior to joining Transform was like eat and drink, and that's why I gained so much weight. And so I finally got all that off, and I'm so much happier.
I
I
love
mean,
that. There's such a theme in that, with so many of our clients that I talk to who have success. They stand really firmly and powerfully in, like, hey, no, I'm not going to drink, or hey, let me know where we're going to eat, or whatever. Like, they start just
mhm,
asking for what they want. And I think that's such a huge shift when you finally decide to compete, to invest in yourself, go for something, take a little selfish piece of the pie. You're okay with taking more and more and more. And what you realize is, as you stand up for yourself, only the people that you don't need in your life are the ones who fade out or turn their backs or make fun of you. You really start to attract more just by saying, this is what I
right,
want now. I'm going after it.
right. And I mean, I haven't had to deal with any people like leaving my life because of it. Thank goodness. Like I do have very supportive people, but at the same time, like they know what's important to me, and they know if I'm not going to drink, then that's just, I'll still be there and I'll still hang out and have fun. But I don't, that doesn't meet my goals. And I've always been like told myself the narrative that I'm a giver, and I never, I always want to give. Change that narrative. You can change
Yeah.
it. You can change your thoughts. Like that whole mental shift, changing your thoughts, game changer for me,
Yeah.
for my entire life. And
I
there's more
love
to come.
that.
There's more
um,
changes coming up.
oh, it's always ever evolving, and the longer, as long as you're around me, I'm never going to let you be stagnant. Like, you're always going to be growing, and I hope, those around me have the same, like, set the same precedent for me.
Yeah.
I want to ask a couple of questions that I'm curious to get your perspective on, for people who may be interested in Transform or a program like this. A few concerns that always come up. One being money. So you had it the first time, and you said, the time, the money, you threw all those out there. Do you
Mhm.
feel like has it been worth your investment?
Oh, tenfold. Like without a question. I could not even imagine consuming this content. Like you guys are always on the Facebook group answering questions. The Facebook community in itself is amazing. Not just Kathy and Kelly. I mean, there's a lot of other people on there that provide support. If I put something on there, like I'm helping somebody else, like the averages, the macro averages, I didn't know people didn't know that in my fitness pal. And like I said, we've been in this for 10 months and we've got people in there that didn't know. I'm like, oh, my silly little post like helps somebody else. So that's inspiring and encouraging and makes me want to like share more with everyone. As far as the knowledge, for sure, like I said, tenfold, I could not imagine. You guys have brought so many valuable friends and like people in the industry onto the calls with us to talk to them about our personal struggles, and helped us connect with them and just grow that circle. And like you talked about, like leveling up with people in our lives, that doesn't even have to be around me. Through the internet, like they can be across the country and I can connect with them. And that's amazing. As far as the time that I thought I didn't have, I've always made time for the gym. So that's never been a struggle for me per se, because I love working out. I've always loved lifting, and I have a history in that. But knowing exactly what I'm going to do in the app, planning my day, planning my week with that, knowing exactly what I'm going to go in that gym, I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm going to kill that workout. And, that just the intention sets the intention and the tone for my day. And that is so helpful, because I used to be one of those people that went in and was like, oh, what do I feel like doing today? Oh, I guess I'll do little arms, little legs, and then like see no progress. Be like, but I'm working out really hard. Why am I not seeing progress? So
Yeah. So I told you I was just talking to Kelly Florio, and which is funny because people are gonna think I like told you guys what to say, because she said, "Oh, tenfold," exactly like you do, those exact words. So that's why I started laughing. But she made a great point of really it takes more time. If time is the excuse, it takes more time because, like you said, you're
yes,
wandering around the gym, you're spending the time anyway. You're asking, "Oh, what should I eat?" Like you don't just have that stuff there for you. You're not opening an app saying, "I'm doing this. Okay, I'm doing this." Like there's
right.
no decision fatigue, like time to put in. When she said that to me, that was like a light bulb. I've literally never told a client that, and I'm gonna forever realize that that's the case now. She's so right.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, we waste a lot of time figuring out what we're gonna do in the gym, chit chatting with other people. If you like set a time for yourself, say I have 1 hour to get this done. Guess what? You're gonna find a way, and you're gonna get that done.
Yep.
I had to get my workout done very quickly to make this call for you. You know what I mean? That's just how my schedule had to work today.
Yeah. Last question, and then we'll wrap up. So, what would you say then to someone who's kind of sitting on the fence, like was in the position that you're in? Like, if you could go back and talk to yourself, who sat on it for, thought about it, and then 4 years later was finally like, okay, I'm gonna do it. What would you say to that person in the interim who's just making excuses and just kind of thinking about it and not willing to take action?
I like a lot of what you say too, is like, if time is an issue for you, when will ever be the right time? I didn't think
Mm,
then was the right time. Last January when I joined, that couldn't have been the right time. I mean, I wasn't in shape or working out or like prepared for this or anything like that. But and it's also how much you value yourself. How much do you value your health, your life, the quality of your life? Because like I said, tenfold, it's going to improve if you put the work in and follow everything that you guys are giving us, and with the support that you give. How is your life not going to improve? You're going to
man,
be
I
a,
love
a
that.
way better version of yourself.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to for anything. We can make time for anything. We can essentially come
Mhm.
up with the money for anything. And when we're forced to place a value on ourselves, that's where gets hard. That's where it usually gets deep. And I'll have those phone calls with people all day. Like, just call me your therapist. We'll get into the deep stuff. That's what usually
Yeah.
ends up coming up because it comes from a place of I'm not worthy. Every time as we drill down, it's tell me
Mhm.
whatever excuse you want, but what you're really telling me is I'm not worthy, because you can't tell me that like you've come up with the resources for something else or someone else. So I think it's asking yourself that question. Am I worthy of this? Can I do
Yeah.
this for myself? Am I going to put the time, energy, and effort into, you know, ultimately making myself healthier and better?
Yeah. Exactly. And that's
Awesome.
another why.
Yeah, definitely. Because then when you declare that you are worth it, you start showing up like you're worth it. Like you said, you haven't always kind of just been this badass who's like, well, I'm not going to drink. I have values and I'm going to stand in them. You were kind of a pushover before. And now
Yeah,
you've defined and realized your worth, and it spreads.
definitely.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks so much for doing this with me, Kelly. This has been really good.